All right, what is going on, guys? UFC Fight Night, Lewis versus Teixeira has ended, and this is going to be the fights to make after the event. Starting off with the main event winner, Derek Lewis gets the first round TKO over Talison Teixeira in a somewhat awkward fashion, but it was in 35 seconds. The heavyweight division right now is finally starting to get some traction. John Jones officially retired. They elevated Tom Aspinall to champion. I'm assuming we're either going to get Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane, which is, I think, the most likely scenario, or potentially we're going to get Tom Aspinall versus Jailton Almeida. We have Blades is injured, looking to come back towards the end of the year. We have Volkov on a losing streak where he should have won his last fight versus Cyril Gane. That's why I'm kind of thinking they should do Jailton Almeida and make Gane fight, get one more win in the meantime. So what I'm thinking they do, I'm not going to book Derek Lewis with Gane, the rematch with Gane, or with the rematch with Jailton Almeida. It just doesn't really make sense right now because one of them they either need to fight each other, the winner of that fight gets the title shot, or give one of them a title shot and give one of them somebody else. I am going to book Derek Lewis with a rematch, though, and that is a rematch with Curtis Blades. Blades is injured just, a month or two ago with the fight he had with, I can't remember, Kuniev. I can't remember his first name. But he said he wanted to come back towards the end of the year, November, December. I'm thinking you put this on a pay-per-view main card, maybe like the opener of the main card or the headliner, the prelims of a pay-per-view in November, December. Great rematch. It was years ago, their first fight. Derek Lewis got the brutal knockout. He probably couldn't do it better if he wanted to. But for Blades, he's kind of recently win-loss. And for Lewis, I think he's on a 2-fight winning streak right now. Could be a 3-fight win streak. It's either 2 or 3-fight winning streak he's on right now. Give him a step up in the rankings. He's fought a couple up-and-coming contenders. I know he fought... Who did he fight? Besides Teixeira. The guy behind me was one of them. Maybe he's on a 2-fight win streak. Anyway, nonetheless, given the rematch with Curtis Blades, that would get Derek Lewis, I think, back in the top 5 if he were to get a win over Curtis Blades. Blades might be ranked number 6. I can't remember off the top of my head. Nonetheless, end of the year, be a great fight. And at that point, with the way the UFC is giving title shots nowadays, if he gets a win over Curtis Blades, they may give Derek Lewis a title shot just because, one, obviously Aspinall hasn't fought Derek Lewis yet, and you got Gane and Almeida at the top. So it's probably just going to end up how it lays out. Who can fight, who can't fight, who's booked and who's not booked. But we'll see. The loser of the main event, Talison Teixeira. If you watch my channel, you know who I'm probably going to book him up with. This is only assuming Teixeira is no longer ranked. Because I'm guessing he's either going to be ranked 15 or no longer ranked in the heavyweight division. And then as Kennedy and Nzechukwu, he also lost to Walter Walker on this card. So, both their fights ended relatively quickly. Now, granted, Kennedy was heel hooked and tapped out, where Teixeira was TKO'd. But you could probably 3-4 months from now throw this on a fight night card. And again, that's assuming Teixeira's not ranked, because with how they do the rankings nowadays, it would not surprise me if they ranked Vitor Petrino and they ranked Walter Walker after the event. We'll find out tomorrow. Today is Monday. We'll find out tomorrow if they're going to rank them or not. If not, I wouldn't know. Kennedy doesn't really deserve to fight somebody in the rankings, but Teixeira doesn't really need to be in the rankings either. So, nonetheless, moving on. Gabriel Bonfim gets a win over Stephen Thompson to get himself in the welterweight rankings. Jake Matthews won, had a really good performance on the same card as Gabriel Bonfim. Now, he did have a very quick fight compared to Bonfim's 3-round fight, but Matthews doesn't fight that often. So, and especially if he's going to fight somebody ranked in the welterweight division, I could see him definitely waiting out till the end of the year or maybe fall time for Gabriel Bonfim. Because to be honest, I don't think Gabriel Bonfim won the fight. So, Jake Matthews, he's on, I think, 2 or 3 fight win streak. I think he's on a 3-fight win streak right now against decent opposition. Give him a shot at somebody in the top 15, and I think Gabriel Bonfim would be... I would probably pick Jake Matthews to win that fight. Moving up, Stephen Thompson lost. Old man Stephen Thompson. Listen, if he wants to keep fighting, I don't need the UFC to give him like these up and coming contenders. Even though he just had a very competitive fight with Gabriel Bonfim, I want him to have fun fights against old guys like himself. And there's a few names. The person I'm gonna show, I'll go ahead and show it. I got Tim Means. Okay, Tim Means is old. He's washed up. Just like I think Stephen Thompson Wonderboy would definitely win that fight. But I have a few other names that you could kind of rotate in there. You could do Stephen Thompson versus, why did I just forget his name? Court McGee. You could do Court McGee. Trying to think of who else I had. There's another older guy. You could do Michael Chiesa. He's kind of older. I don't think they fought you before. If they did, I forgot about it. Just some of those. Oh, that's who I was thinking of. RDA, if he wants to come back and fight after, I know he had that injury in his last fight. So if he wants to come back and fight, you could do Wonderboy versus RDA at welterweight. Just fun, older veterans. All these guys are kind of older. Great matchups for Wonderboy. Moving on, Steve Garcia gets it done over Calvin Kattar. Kicks Calvin Kattar out of the rankings, I'm assuming. Gets himself in the rankings. A fight I'd really like to see him tested against, a fighter I'd really like to see him get tested against, is Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett's kind of like someone who tests all the young up-and-coming prospects. He just lost to Lamar Murphy, I think, beginning of this year. Maybe like 3-4 months from now. You do, Garcia even called one of the Apex Fight Night main event. You could do him versus Emmett in the Apex main event, 5 rounds. We could see Steve Garcia's cardio. I don't think he's going to have a cardio problem at all. Just watching his last few fights, or watching this fight specifically, he went a hard 3 rounds with Calvin Kattar, going output. Now, to be fair, Kattar really wasn't doing a whole lot in the whole fight. Didn't really do much, didn't throw a whole lot. Josh Emmett, on the other hand, he will throw, and he can go a hard 5 rounds. And this would be a great matchup in the featherweight division. Moving on to someone else in the featherweight division. Morgan Charrier got the win over Nate the Train. Knocked him out in the 3rd round, where I had him down 2 rounds. So went out there, did what we needed to do, got the win. And I want to see him get one more win at least against decent opposition before he gets a top 15 opponent. And that decent opposition is Chris Gutierrez. Chris Gutierrez isn't the elite of the elite. He was once ranked at bantamweight. But if I remember, did he get his ranking off of beating Frankie Edgar? I think he knocked Frankie Edgar out, which everybody does. So that wasn't a shock that got him into the rankings. But I don't even think he won any fights once he was in the rankings. I don't think he did. But yeah, this would be a great fight. If Gutierrez wants to get back in the rankings mix, he needs to put together a streak. I think he might be on a 1-fight win streak right now, maybe 2. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I think this would be a really good test for Morgan Charrier to fight Chris Gutierrez. Moving up, Vitor Petrino wins his heavyweight debut against Austin Lane. But what does that mean? It doesn't really mean anything. Austin Lane is not good at all. But then again, Vitor Petrino lost to Anthony Smith. And Dustin Jacoby is not bad. That's not a bad loss to have. But let's go ahead and give him another bad heavyweight, but I think he's better than his last opponent, which I might be contradicting myself, because did he lose? Did he lose to this guy? Oh, I gotta look it up now. I gotta look it up on my phone, because I'll feel really stupid, because for some reason I'm thinking he's lost to this guy. I could be 100% wrong. Come on. Let's see. Moment of truth. Moment of truth. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong. I don't think he's ever fought this guy. I don't know why I thought it. Okay, no. Nope. I don't know why I thought it. Muhammad Usman. Usman was on a 2-fight skid. Just got back in the win column. Who did he just beat? I don't remember. It's like I can almost give less of a shit. Who did he just beat? Hamdi Abdelwahab whatever, that guy. The guy that would use PEDs and is still fat as hell. Before that, lost to Thomas Peterson and a loss to Mick Parkin. Before that, he's beaten like bummy ass heavyweight like Jake Collier, Junior Tafa, Zach Poundgood to win the Ultimate Fighter. So by no means, I don't put any respect on Muhammad Usman's name. I think Vitor Petrino, with the state of the heavyweight division, get him one more win. If he gets a win over Muhammad Usman, throw him in there with somebody in the top 15. He's usually in exciting fights. Petrino, that is. Usman's kind of usually in boring fights. Not all the time, but most of the time. I think this would be a step up in competition for Vitor Petrino as well as for Muhammad Usman. Moving on. Chris Curtis gets a tough decision win over, was it Max Griffin? Is that who it was? I think it was. I could be totally butchering that. But talked about this guy earlier. I think this is I don't want to say I'm feeding him to the wolves, but not Curtis. Michael Chiesa. Chiesa's on a 2-fight win streak against the dead body of Tony Ferguson and Court McGee. 2-fight win streak. Those wins don't mean anything at all. For Chris Curtis, this is solely, Chiesa's got decent wrestling. Can Curtis keep it up on the feet and move forward, use his boxing to finish Michael Chiesa? I think this would be a good matchup. Is it a step up in competition? Not really. I think it's the similar level to the fight he just had. But I think he's got the name value. You could do it this year, towards the end of the year probably. Maybe even fall time if both guys are down for it. But I think this would be a good fight. And, give him, Chiesa was ranked at one point. Get him a win over Michael Chiesa. Then after that, he can fight somebody in the rankings because he was ranked, I think, for a little while at middleweight. Chris Curtis, that is. So, get him a couple wins at welterweight, then throw him in to someone in the top 15. Moving on, Walter Walker. Again, he may or may not be ranked. Regardless, his next opponent in mind definitely should be a ranked opponent, and that is Tai Tuivasa. I think they're talking about going to Australia later this year. I think you do Walter Walker versus Tai Tuivasa in Australia. I would probably pick Walter Walker to win via heel hook, but Tuivasa does have good power. He's got good power. He could knock Walter Walker out. But if he loses to Walter Walker, cut him. I think he's in a 5-fight win streak. 4 of those coming via finish. So, this kind of do or die for Tai Tuivasa. Unfortunately, if he loses to Walter Walker, the UFC probably will not cut him because the fans love him. He drinks beer out of his shoe. It's a stupid gimmick. I don't like it. I could give less of a fuck. I don't think he should be in the UFC. He's bottom of the barrel. Gets lucky with his knockout power. I don't know if you want to call it lucky, but anyway, great matchup for Walter Walker. And for Tai Tuivasa, again, backs up against the wall, really needs to get a win here. Moving on, last but not least, we got Mike Davis. Got the job done. I was trying to come up with someone that's not like a super step up in competition, but it's definitely a step up because, to be honest, I don't know if he really gives a shit. I don't think he cares who he fights. He just goes out there and does whatever he does. But I got Manuel Torres. I think this would be a great matchup for Mike Davis, and same for Manuel Torres. Davis has kind of shown in the past to slow down a little bit. Honestly, at times, almost seems like his heart's not in it, but then sometimes he just finds a way, just like he did in his last fight. Kind of seemed like he was slowing down in that second round. Boom, hurts him to the body, finds a way, finishes him in that second round. Can he do the same thing against Manuel Torres? Book this on the September card. I think it's in September. The UFC Noche card, whenever that is. I believe it's in September. I could be wrong. Book it on the Noche card. This would be a great prelim for that card. Or, I think it's a fight night. I don't think it's a pay-per-view. So yeah, definitely put this like headline in the prelims or like co-main in the prelims, something like that. Maybe on the main card, like opening up the main card if the main card's really weak, or if the fight night's really weak. But I think this would be a really good matchup for both guys. Really exciting fight because both guys come to fight every time they're there. Let me know. What do you guys think of these fights? Do you have any matchups you would make differently? If so, let me know down below. Make sure to subscribe if you guys are not subscribed. Drop a like on the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.